Okay. I think we're live on YouTube and on... Looks like we're live on Twitch. Yep, okay. Must have been from the last chat. From the last stream. I was looking at the, on the channel page on Twitch, and there's a comment that says, "Hi, from Who Is This 9874. Okay, so, tonight we are going to be doing a little bit of streaming. Again, I'm going to try and keep it down to an hour and a half. We will see. But that's my... I'm going to try to make that my limit for tonight. It's an hour and a half, so stop at about 7. So, I watched a bunch of videos. I watched the rest of the moon-based videos, albeit kind of an accelerated format from KSC. And I watched his precision landing video, I don't know, a dozen times, I think. It's kind of crazy, because he actually doesn't use the SAS on retrograde or anything. He OGs it down using stability only and just manipulates the lander himself, which is kind of insane. Well, we'll see what happens with that, but I think my method of just landing wherever the hell we're going to land and using the rovers to go around is fine. I also think I figured out why the second rover didn't attach, and it's because the station ran out of power since we were at night at that point. I think what happened is that it ran out of power, and so the automagnetism of the ports of the Clamptron Jr. didn't work, and doesn't work without any power. So, I want to make sure that is the case. So, and also I figured out from watching one of his base videos how he actually does the swinging around to the thing to hook it up more easily. Apparently you can turn the brakes on somehow, and then turn SAS on to manipulate the rovers in crazy ways to lift up the ends of it to get a little bit better of an angle into the port. But I think that the way that we built our rovers with the larger wheels to make them level with the ports is better. So we won't have to do any of that. I just need to make sure I need to wait for the KSC, the Space Center, to get to the day, to get into day, and then we'll see if we can take that other rover back across and hook it up or not. Then we have to do the fun thing of designing the station. So what we need to do is we need to make this as easy as possible to dock the not only the sky crane with, but the stuff with the sky crane. We need to make it as easy as possible. Waking the Kraken. Somebody go find Barboza. Davy Jones. That's who it was. A little bit of Pirates of the Caribbean trivia there. So what we have to do is we have to have it, once we get it up there, it has to have enough fuel to be able to refuel the sky crane. And any other things we bring up there. Like, for example, if we want to take the engine stages back to Kerbal, just so we don't clutter up the moon, orbit around the moon with stuff, or either to burn it in re-entry or to actually recover it or something like that. Preferably, I would say just smash it right into the ground somewhere on Kerbal, because we're on Sandbox, and so money's not really an issue. The other thing that I found insane is that KSC, when he did all the moon-based stuff, he was playing in career mode. So, yeah, that's insane. Which is also part of the reason why his designs are a little bit more, a lot more efficient than probably mine will be, is because he had to deal with the monetary constraints. One thing we'll need to do, well, we'll see if hopefully the rover panels are enough to power both it and charge both it and the station battery. Not station, the base core battery. Falling with style. And you might be falling at terminal velocity towards the surface of the moon, but at least you're doing it in flashy style. Although, if you're doing that and you switch your Kerbal around, if you're a Kerbal doing this, and you land on the helmet, 4 times out of 10 you're going to survive it because it'll just bounce off the surface of the moon. But you have to have the helmet in the right orientation to have it just kind of exactly right on top. I don't know what. I think it's a bug or something with the helmet. Well, it was. I don't know if it still exists or not. Maybe they fixed it in the last update. Thinking Jiraiya. Must be, I don't know if they're developers or just like special thank yous or something for people that helped with the development that weren't part of the team or something. Specifying impulse. It'd be better if it said specifying 1/4 impulse or something like that instead of specifying impulse, but whatever. It's the Star Trek nerd in me. Alright, expansion loading complete, and we're waiting for the game to load to the menu. So we're going to update a couple things with the base cores. Well, the sub-assemblies. We're going to add solar panels around the top of them just so we can deal with that. And also, we're going to add, finally, friggin' retro controls. I don't know what the R is. The CS is control system. The R is, I don't know what it is. RCS, maybe rocket control system, I don't know. RCS to the friggin' Minmus lander. And the real RCS, not the Werner thrusters. Yeah, Eastern game. Alrighty then. So we got some work to do. First things first, though, I need to see if what I found on Reddit was correct or not. We are at night right now, so I want to speed that up. Okay, we are now during the day, so we're gonna go over to this. Landed at runway. Didn't really land, but whatever. Kind of just sort of meandered over that way after I smashed into it a dozen times with the friggin' base core. So how do we? I'll have to check the key bindings to see, because apparently the brakes are. Oh no, we want to go this way. We do want to go this way. No, backwards. Go backwards. Okay, fine. We'll turn around. If that's what you want to do. They're burning a lot of power. It says wheels. I'm not gonna accelerate any more than that, because that'll get us back over there. And we'll let the panel. Yeah, so look at the panels. Look at this. It's almost 3 seconds. So if we got 2 of these on there, that's gonna be 6 a second. So that'll be plenty. Start trying to slow us down a bit here. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay. Oh, the other one came off too. Okay, that's not good. Alright. Stop going backwards. Alright. So what I need to do is, I guess I'll have to go to the Space Center. I'll have to select that and then fly it. I think it's well, no, there should be people in there. I don't know what's going on with that. You should be able to just select it and say switch to or whatever. I can't even see the stupid things. The other pips are in the way. There we go. Number 2. Fly it. Or in this case, lift it. Pull it, twirl it, bop it. Oh, my nephew's actually got a bop it for Christmas. I'm going to say 2 years ago? That was the first time I'd ever played it before. Ah, wow, cool. They are attracting, though they aren't quite connecting yet. I think I have to set that as target. The SAS isn't doing anything. Well, anyway, so we got that. Now I need to switch back over. This is really friggin' annoying. I think maybe it's because there's no. Let me see. I do have some Kerbals. Whoa. Valentina, what the hell have you been drinking in there? The RCS doesn't even work here on Kerbal. Maybe we can grab onto the wheel or something. Oh, there we go. Aha, there we go. Okay, we are connected. So now I want to okay, so I need to click on leave seat. I need to go over to the other rover. I forgot you could run. It's the universal shift button. Get back here, you stupid rover. Where are you going? You're not red, so I'm not going to do red rover. And that battery's actually charging. Nice. I think it's halfway charged. Crap, I think you have to go over the wheel or something. I might have found a fluke as far as how to get on there. Friggin' gravity. There is a way to turn gravity off, though. At least there was. I don't know what version, but it was a while ago. I wonder if it's because it's moving, we can't grab onto it. Alt F12. We can do that, and then we go to cheats, I believe, and or is it physics? No. Hack gravity, there it is, yeah. It is here. I did not even know that existed until a while ago. Last night. Crap. Okay. Is it still too high for the RCS to work? What's really annoying is that the RCS... getting caught... What the hell? I just got run over by the rover. Valentina got run over by a rover. Okay, I'll stop now. Yeah, it's still... come on. Grab it. Okay, we got up there. I don't think we actually grabbed it, but... Okay, Mr. Rover, you are now under my control. You're going to do what I want you to do, damn it. You're going to back up and you're going to conjoin with this base module. Like a good rover. But not like that. Let's get that out of the way. I'll set this as the target. So how can we apply the go to hell for that one. How do we apply the brakes here? Brakes. You're going to tell me what the braking thing is. Where the hell's the control? So reset UI scaling, nav ball position. Where are you at controls? Toolbar control, no. What's this thing? Oh, science alerts. Interesting. Oh, an EVA report. Okay, cool. I had forgotten that was there. Where's the controls? I don't have to be at the main menu, do I? Screw it. We can just use... Well, I can't use the browser in there, so I'll come out here real quick. KSP brakes on rover. Oh, the B key. Okay. So B lets you apply brakes. There's also a button somewhere that you can press down over here. I don't know. It says there's like lights somewhere. What's that? Abort action group. Turn this on. So it might just be that come on. I mean, they're kind of auto attracting. Yeah, see, they're attracting. They're just not. It's just not connecting. I think the gravity's still not low enough to, let's turn it all the way down. Oh, there we go, yeah. That was the problem, gravity. Alright, so now we are totally hooked up. So if we retract these. And see, this is what we would do on the moon now. So we'd move this around somewhere. And since we got all these wheels now, we're not going to flip over. So we'd move it around, go find the section we wanted to attach this to. Oh wait, we need to go backwards. Yeah. So, holy crap, are you kidding me? Burning 35, 36 on the power. Though we got all these batteries attached now, which is nice. So that helps a lot. Still, we definitely need way more solar panels on this thing because so essentially what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and dock the side port here. Actually, that's a clampetron, isn't it? Never mind, we're not going to dock the side port, we're going to dock the front port. Actually, no, that's the rear port. Never mind. Going down the back door here, I guess. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Because you have to get it close enough to attract. I think it was starting to. Yeah, there we go. Ah, no. We were lined up and then I screwed it up. Ah, stop. Stop being such a pain in the arse. Oh my god, this thing is like really messed up now. Okay, you go away for a second and then we'll reline you up again. And we have to get... now it's like friggin' just gonna roll away. So it has no brakes. Or rather, it does have brakes, but they don't work. Okay, screw this, we'll try the other one. So I'm just gonna roll for a while. Look at that. We're like almost out of power. That's hilarious. Now we are out of power. Now we gotta wait. Anyway, we know it works, so good. That's all I wanted to do, and it is power related. What happened last night with that? So let's go ahead and just clear all this crap away, end all these flights, recover all these vessels, and then we can. Hey, we got one science. Or no, we didn't. Data gathered, but it's not worth anything since it survived a flight. What the hell? That one too. Any other things out here somewhere? No. All right. So, first things first. We need to put in some batteries. Well, no, we have batteries. All right. Electrical. So I think what we'll do is we'll put these on the side. We won't do too many of them because they may get in the way. We'll have to rotate them a little bit once we get them in place. So we'll do them like on the corners here or something. Actually, better yet, let's just do by 4. That way they're on every corner and the same kind of, we'll have them on the same general location and same axis when we rotate them here. I'm also going to move it in a little bit. If I can, I'll have to move it diagonally twice. So in this way a little bit, in this way a little bit. Just so it looks like it's actually attached to it. Yeah, that's good. And it'll move it a little bit more out of the way too. Okay, so that looks good. And those do what, 2 a second? 2.8 a second times 4, so that's like 8, 12, so like somewhere between 9 and 10 recharge a second per one of these. And then we're also going to put these 0.3 a second panels on the top. We'll do a 5 or a 6 configuration there. So 0.3 times 6, that's like 1.8. So we're going to have about 10 or so, 10 to 12 recharge a second per base core module we use on the station, or on the moon base. So that'll help a bit. But we're going to have, like, you know, probably somewhere like 300,000 to 400,000 battery storage. So we're talking, you know, that's not, this isn't going to cut it. It'll help tremendously. You won't have to have so many of the actual solar arrays, but yeah. So I'll put that there. Everything else looks fine. And actually, what I'm going to do is let's go to the sub-assembly panel. So base core 1 ladder. Yes, override it. And we'll trash it. Rather, no, we won't trash it. Let's bring it back up. Because now what I want to do is I want to pull this off. And I want to stick the other thing here. So it should be kind of through there and just barely on the top. So that actually, that's pretty much perfect. All right. And this will be our other one here. The 4 base core one. Or 4 dock port one. Base core 4 dock. Okay, so there's that. Gonna get rid of that now too. Okay, so everything is good. Now we gotta do the station. Now we gotta do the bloody station. So first we're gonna say moon station. Save it. No, we can't. I guess did we save it, or I don't think it lets you save it without a. Yeah, you have to have a core command section for it to save, which is fine. Like I said, I'm not sure if I want to do a manned one or if I want to do a probe yet. I'm leaning towards probe though, because that way we don't have to have somebody up there, and if something goes wrong, we don't need to have people up there getting Kerbals up there getting blown to bits. So I think we'll do a remote guidance unit. Getting this up there is going to be really interesting though. So what we're going to do is save it. On the top here, what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 Clampotrons. It's more for just aesthetic looks than anything else, but it'll help push the docking port more forward, so that and actually I think we'll actually do a Rocco Max adapter first on top of that, just because I want to make sure that the docking place for the sky crane is pushed out far enough that we're not going to crash into anything on the station. There we go. Well, it's actually too big. Need something there. Perfect. And then well, that could work. We'll scale it down. Actually, not 2 Clampotrons. Well, let me see. No, yeah, we can do 2 Clampotrons. That's fine. It'd be juniors, obviously. So we're going to stick that there, first of all. And then we're going to rotate it. 180. And I also want to probably move it up a little bit. It'd be nice to try and get this centered. So you don't have such a hell of a time lining it up to dock with. That's pretty good. Then I'm going to grab another one. I'm just going to attach it on top of, and then we'll move it up. So you can kind of see it adds more distance, so we don't have to worry about crashing into anything. Alright, so now that's done, whoops, we need to add in the rest of the stage stuff here. So, we're definitely going to need RCS, tons of it. We're going to need fuel storage. We're going to need, probably some docking ports to expand the station, to add in station experiments when I bring that mod back in. So we got to kind of consider all of this. So the first thing that we want to do though on this is we want to add a large reaction wheel. And actually I think we need to do a Rockomax adapter for that. So we go grab it. It's only structural. And there we are. Okay. Alright, so this is going to be not a small thing. Oops, I wanted to grab the guidance unit. So we got that there. Actually, well, it doesn't really matter where it goes. We do need to have a battery though. Actually, we probably have to have several of these in sequence. Just that we have enough. Well, let's do two, because these are like really crazy in terms of the, yeah, 12,800. So that's, what would that be? 25.6 K battery power. Just because, well, yeah, we'll do that, because it's gonna be, we're gonna have to plan for expansion. Okay. So yeah, the sky crane will attach here. This will be the front of it. We'll try to keep this area free of anything. So let's go ahead and we need to put in a fuel stage. I guess we can do a Rockomax Jumbo. With a mainsail. So this is going to be kind of the, you know, let's do two. The mainsail. That way we have a lot more room to work with here. So, we got that. Now we got to consider docking ports for things that might bring in. So the question is, would we bring them in parallel, or would we bring them perpendicular to this? It doesn't really matter, it's just what would be easier. I guess we can figure that out later. So first of all, let's go ahead and grab some Clampetrons. We'll do two. Doesn't really matter which way they go, I guess. Wherever we stick them at, though, that's gonna be the side that we will keep everything on, so. We'll do 2 per section here. Alright, so we got 4 attachment points. I guess we could also use this for refueling, since we can I think fuel pass-through works on everything, so there's that. So we'll have to refuel the station over time. Let's see, we need RCS tanks. Monopropellant tanks. Actually, what we should do is, in the middle of these two, we should put a monopropellant storage tank. That needs to be a Rockomax tank. I guess we can scale something up. Or down. What does that have in it? This one's 1500. Yeah, that should be way more than enough, actually. Alright, so that'll be our RCS. Actually, really quickly. Actually, I'm going to try and keep this a little more balanced. Let's pull this off here. Alright, so that looks good. Rather... Oh no, they have some propellant there. Good, that's what I wanted. Just to put it after the propellant tank. Alright, so now we need some RCS thrusters. 290 thrust ISP and vacuum. 290. That's like, you know, almost a friggin' T-35 level of, of thrusting power. To be honest, I don't really know what we're gonna need. I guess we can go with like 2 of these per section. These are really powerful. Put them right in between the docking ports. Alright, and then we'll definitely need some solar. So let me see, what's the best thing we have? That's these that have 2.8. Oh yeah, these go flat on the skin, so these will be good for candidate for these. So what's the max we do? 8? Can't even fit 8 around there. Oh yeah, we can. Okay. Okay, so those are 2.8 a second times 8. So that's 8 and 8 is 64. So that's going to be something like 20 a second, which is good. That actually probably will be enough without having to add any other solar panels, but because we are overdoing it a bit, we shall add some more. Again, we got to think about future expansion. All right. Okay, so we got our RCS here, which I think is going to be fine. You can also add extra stuff, solar panels to the sections we bring up with this. We got our docking ports, we got our batteries, we got our SAS units, and we got our fuel for actually getting this into orbit around the moon. So I think we're good for that. Now we need to build the stages to get it up to the moon and in orbit. So for that, definitely going to need to do Kerbal stuff. So first things first, we need a decoupling stage for Rockomax. It's too big. It's, 25 is Rockomax. Then we need a Kerbal adapter. And we probably should use another reaction wheel. Again, this is probably overkill, but since we don't have to worry about the cost, that's fine. We're only at 105 grand anyway, so it's actually pretty cheap. All right, so Kerbadine. This is actually a pretty good, pretty flat section up here, so we're not going to need to do a fairing. That should be fairly aerodynamic on its own. So we want to have some pretty big tanks here. Let's see, Kerbadine stuff. These are the Kerbadine, yeah. So we're gonna want to do probably. Let's get the mammoth in here now. What we want to do is we want to aim to get this thing up and also be able to have this get us into a stable orbit, so we don't have to burn so much fuel out of this for this first when we send this up, because I want to make sure we have a lot of fuel left in this for the sky crane when we get it over there to take the rovers down. Okay, so we need to do some radial decouplers. We'll just do 2. No, 2, not 6 or whatever that was, 8. Okay. I have to pull this off and put it on top. That's fine. Alright, aerodynamic stuff. Oh, that actually has stuff in it too. Interesting. It's a solid booster. Let's not use that. That could be, yeah, separation booster. Interesting. So it makes it so you can detach them more efficiently, I guess. Nope. We'll have to go with the Rockomax and then scale it up, which is fine. We cannot scale. No. One thing we need to scale and we can't. We can do this, but I don't know how large we can go with these. As in not very large at all. So I guess we're left with no aerodynamics on those. That's fine, I suppose. At least no nose cones. We can do fins, and we have to do fins actually. Where's our deluxes at? Yeah, we're not aiming for exact, but at least somewhere nearby it. And then we'll do one in the middle. Oh, that's actually a lot lower than I thought. It was. This one we'll have to do a little bit of an adjustment here to get it low enough. And I actually want to bring this over a bit. Because then what we're going to do is we're going to put one in between those two. Oh, jeez. Yay for not placing it in the right place. Alright, just because we want to make sure we have enough control over this thing, since we're only going to have 2 engines to start with. I don't know what you would call these things. 2 booster engines, I suppose. Okay, so we got all that in. That should be plenty enough thrust to get us up into orbit. And just to make sure that we also have enough fuel, we're going to asparagus stage these. So these will dump into there when they're done, and we'll have another full stage of this to go. So that'll help a lot. Now we have to do the taping within an inch of its life, because this thing's going to try and just go all sorts of bad ways. Since these aren't right next to each other and there's nothing right next to them, we'll just have to do multiple connections to the actual central core here. I'm going to do it on both sides too, not just one side. Since we don't have another series of booster stages to attach to. Actually, let's move that one down here. Okay, that should be good enough. Actually, I want to be over cautious on this one. Okay, that should be okay. It's like 290. It's only a little bit more than Minbus Lander. Not bad. Okay, so we got all our docking ports. We got all our power stuff. We got don't need science on this. It's gonna be a station. We got our port up here for the Clampetron Junior for the Sky Crane. We got our Clampetrons for other sections that might come up. RCS thrusters, RCS fuel, 2 64 jumbo tanks and a mainsail for that, and then we got these down here to get us up into orbit, and then maybe even to the moon, so we don't have to use so much of this fuel. I think we are good to try and send this up now. Oh wait, we need to add one more thing. We need to add an antenna so that we can have a better signal connection. Either that, or maybe we have to try and put something on the moon that'll be a relay or something like that. We'll try it with that at first, and then if we run into issues, we'll stick one on and revert. All right, we'll start at half throttle and see where that takes us. I won't turn the RCS on until we get up into orbit. Oh, goody. I forgot to make sure the staging was correct. Okay, let's get back in here and then fix the staging. So I think what happened is that the externals came off, yeah. Okay, that's good. That should be the next stage there, and that, yeah, okay. Minor detail glossed over there. Surprised the engines didn't fall over and explode. Alright, SAS on, throttle about right there. It's pretty good, yeah. It's a good speed. I'll actually go up to 3/4 thrust. Now it's starting to wobble a little bit. And that just happens when you don't connect things together. You should have put struts from this section to that section to keep it from wobbling like that. There's nothing you really do about it. Other than that. It shouldn't be too big of a deal, really. I mean, it can be, but I'm hoping for this flight it won't be, since we got all these frickin' reaction wheels in the stack. Should be able to handle most anything. Now, if I want to, I could turn the RCS on. Oh, that actually works wonders. Nice. Oh, crap. Let's rotate this. We before I forget. So the whoa. Okay, so rotating didn't go so well. Switch over to prograde. It's because we have an uneven number of thrusters. And, oh nice, I just noticed we're missing some fins for some reason. That could also be one of the issues. Well, nothing's snapping yet. Sure is making a hell of a hard time to actually do anything with it, though. I do want to rotate this way, though, because we're actually not quite in the right, pointing in the right direction. You want to be looking at this belt, dust, nebula thing, whatever it is. So that's essentially where the moon is at, is along that. Okay, what is going on here? Once we get rid of this last stage, things will get a lot more, this last booster stage, it'll get a lot cleaner. Okay. Oh, there's the moon right there, as a matter of fact. Turn the RCS off and save propellant. Let's turn that off too. But I've already got our apoapsis out there really far, so that's kind of bad. Nothing I can do about that though, for the moment. We'll have to deal with it on the burn. Or we can try coming up again once we tape things up a little bit better. Alright, to be honest though, that actually gets us halfway to the moon already. All we have to do is come over here, add a maneuver, do like a radial or something to... Ah, come on. Radial burn. Yeah, see, look at that. That's a nasty orbit though. Okay, there we go, that's a bit better. Yeah, the double reaction wheels are working really well. Yeah, we'll have to do a 30-second burn on this. We're already almost there. So we'll probably end up around the moon with about 20% of our fuel left, which is pretty good. We could probably make it a lot more efficient by not having the thing rocking all over the place, but this will be good for now. We can always send up something to refuel if we need to. Close enough. Ready to burn retro. It's probably one of these things where we're going to have to force it inward because we're probably going a little too fast. Like, basically force the orbit back around this way around it. Since we're coming around this side of it instead of around this side of it. Those are the really nasty orbits, but usually you can get it done. We got a mainsail on this thing, so that won't take that much, hopefully. Okay, so there's that. Now let's see what happens. Yeah, we just need to burn retrograde over there. Let's get rid of that. So we'll just go there and burn retro. We're actually gonna have less fuel than I thought. We should be able to get an orbit around the moon now. We'll have to create a refueler that we can send up here to refuel this station. For whatever reason, my electric charge doesn't go down anymore. It's kind of weird. Yeah, we got barely any fuel left, but we're in an orbit, which is good. It's not quite as good as I would like it to be, but it'll do. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go back to the Space Center, and we are going to. So I guess, well, yeah, we need to send up a refueler first. We have to. Because we don't have enough fuel to power the Sky Crane once it gets there. So let's go make a new satellite to send up, well, not satellite, but a new probe-controlled rocket to send up there. So this one's, we're going to be docking this with this, so we're going to do that whole process, which is going to be as fun as a barrel of dead monkeys. Alright, so first we're going to go to new. Moon station. Whoa. Caps lock was on. Well, we have part of a name. Okay. So, same sort of thing we're gonna do. Remote guidance units. Not that one, this one. So that we can put a, so I'm just gonna put one Kerbal, or not Kerbal, one Clampatron onto this. Just straight onto it. We're not going to do the double on this one. So there's that. Next thing we'll need to do is obviously going to be the Rockamax. because then we want to put the reaction wheel. So now what we need to do with this is, it's going to be sort of similar to what we just built. So if we're going to have, instead of, okay, I have no clue how maneuverable this is going to be with RCS thrusters, but we're going to find out. I may have to use a couple more than when I want to. Let's move this up a bit more. So we're going to have 3 of these. First, we need to put a battery in there. To be honest, I think when we scale these things, it breaks them, I think. So we probably just need 1 battery. We are going to need another one of these, though. Actually, I'll put it on the bottom here. Well, let's put it in the middle, which would be, well, there is no middle. The middle's in here. We'll put it underneath these 2. And then again, we'll do a mainsail. Now, for the RCS, which actually we will stick in here. We will need a lot of fuel, for sure. We might be able to get away with the smaller tank, though. It's only 1,500. And we'll scale it down. Okay, never mind. That's only 4. I thought that would be more than that. That's only a little bit. Okay, maybe we need to do. What's the Rockomax monopropellant? We do have the procedural tanks. Okay, that should be. We can do 2 of those, and that'll be enough. So I have no clue how much of that we're going to use, because we need to have thrusters all along this thing, so that we can maneuver this. Because this, this is way the hell bigger than a friggin' command pod. It's going to be a hell of a thing. So we probably want to have, not the Werner ones, but whatever's like really powerful. This is a 250. Well, this also has engines built into it. That's interesting. This is like a single direction port. Interesting. So this is a 2. Okay, this might be what we want to use. 290. That's a pretty powerful one. So we're gonna probably want to do. We want to do 4 because we want to have them on all axes, so that it's even. The thrust is even, and then we want to make sure we put these on the exact same spot so that they're not thrusting against each other weirdly. I'm gonna probably try and do 2 per section. Per fuel section, the jumbo fuel sections, just because that's what we're trying to move. So I feel if we have them along the top and bottom of these, we'll get a lot more control out of it, or maybe too much control. We'll have to find out. I've never tried to dock something this large before, so it is gonna be interesting. So, what I'm hoping now is that actually what we could do is, let's not even use this as a. This will just be fuel. We'll have a different section that'll be the engine. I don't even want to use this for anything other than the fuel. The problem here now is that we're gonna have to do this perpendicularly to one of the fuel sections, because what'll happen is we'll dock that there, and then we'll dock the sky crane on the top, and then we'll be able to just pull fuel through these from those, and it'll just it should automatically refuel it actually. But yeah, so we'll do this perpendicularly, so that's going to be a hell of a thing right there. So we want to have a decoupler, and basically I'm just going to throw more jumbos on there. And on this one though, we're going to have radial, it's going to be a radial connection kind of thing. We're going to have 4 mainsails on this one, just because I won't have enough thrust to push everything. Maybe even the twin bore. Maybe we'll do twin bores on the outer ones, just for the extra thrust. I'm probably thinking too big, though. We'll see. We haven't tried doing a crazy thing with asparagus staged crazy mammoth thing yet, though. So who knows what'll work and what won't. This is what we'll have to find out. We'll need that eventually, but not yet. I need the jumbos. So I'm thinking we'll do 2, because these are going to be asparagus staged. So alright, so engines, twin bores. Actually, we'll put a twin bore in the middle. Well, no, I can't do that because that's going to be weird to try and do anything off of that. You know, I might be able to get away with this with the twin bores, have this be the liftoff stage, because these are like their own fuel tanks. So what we'll actually do is put another jumbo in the middle with a mainsail. And then what we do is asparagus stage all this stuff together here. That'll give us a lot of time on the fuel. So we do proper asparagus staging. So this one to this one, and this one in. You could also do nose cones on this. And also our wings here. Also got all the RCS there if we need it. Taping, space taping. So this time I'm gonna make sure that I do these sections together too, so we don't have any of that wobbling. So part of that's also gonna be oh, that was interesting. Oh, there we go. So how high can we go with this? So that's about as high as we can go. So we're also going to do some extra taping this way. Just to use these to stabilize this middle section as well. That didn't work. There we go. Stability is a good thing. Alright, and our usual 1 per section rule. I was hoping I wouldn't have to do the refuelers so soon, but let's see la vie. Alright, next what we want to do is zoom in here. This part's really kind of tricky. So I don't normally do it this way, but since we have a lot of vertical pieces, I want to make sure they're connected together. I also want to make sure we actually do this a little bit differently. Make sure we get it to go over this. Sometimes it doesn't work though, the way you want it to. Sometimes I think it's doing the same thing. It's just that's not. It almost doesn't look like it, but I think it's fine. Let's see. I don't think we need to worry about doing anything on the top section there. Okay, we have our hell of a thing built. Now let's see if we can fly it. Oh, staging first of all, lest we forget again. So every engine starting out, and then we need to drop these off sequentially. So these two first, and these two, or no, these two first, and those two. So that was kind of weird. Alright, so that one and that one. So these two are first, those two are last, and then the center one. At that point I hope that we basically can just use all these thrusters, because I think this basically equals a mainsail. I hope, basically. This is all 290 together, right? And we got 4 of them. So 4 times 290 is like 900 something. Times 2 is actually more than we got more thrust than a mainsail on this entire upper section here. So hoping we can just use the mod propellant. We'll have to see. This is why we do test runs. All right. Let's go see what we got in terms of thrust and lift, and see where we can get this thing. Hopefully we can do it with just this. I don't want to have to do this and then another section of like Kerbodyne stuff, because that's where you get really nasty in terms of the descent. And you have to just go straight up and then push over, which is kind of defeating the purpose. At least this way we should still be able to do a turn if things don't wobble too much. Damn it. I'm going to go up there. Nope. Whatever. This thing is a massive rocket. Alright, we're just going to put full thrust because I think we're going to need it. We're going to turn RCS on to start with. Actually, no, we probably won't need RCS. I won't turn on. There's some glitch in there. Alright, once we get up to about 250 actually, we'll go and do a turn. I'm going to wait till that point though. Just so we get enough momentum that we're not going to go flipping around. I might turn on RCS at that point. We'll have to see what happens. Go and start turning. Just gonna go to about a maybe like a 40-degree angle to start with. Oh, crap. Yeah, that didn't work. Alright, we need to make sure we also rotate to drop those off. Very well. Okay, that's why there's a revert to flight button. Or revert to launch button, so you can go back and try again. There should be an Iron Man mode that disables that just to see how many people rage quit. I would be among them, for sure. Alright, so the first two that are going to come off are going to be these. So I'm going to make sure that we got those lined up properly so they fall off correctly. Once we get to that point. Actually, I'm going to start at 200 this time instead of 250 on the turn. Well, maybe not. We need to get apps in sight. So you don't want to have like a lower orbit that where you just kind of are. I mean, we got tons of thrust, so it shouldn't matter. But I like to get a little bit more space between where I'm at in the apsis before I do the turn. So we'll do 250 again. Should give us about a 7,000 or 9,000 meter lag time. Or not. Oh hell. I still didn't turn fast enough and we lost the mainsail. God damn it. Okay, we're gonna do the rotation. We're gonna do the rotation first. While we're on the way up. That way I don't have to worry about it right when the friggin' engines die. So one thing you don't want to do is be hauling up useless dead weight for too long. So it kills your fuel efficiency. Alright, full throttle. Let's do this again. So, these go first. So I want to make sure these... going a little bit early, but we'll start at a 30, a shallower angle. That should be fine. That was close. Okay, good. We didn't screw anything up. Still kind of came off at a weird angle. Alright, so we got a pretty good, what was that, about 5,000 or 6,000 meter difference on our thing, so burning at this point a little more sideways is good. We're pretty much online with our stellar phenomena for lining up with the moon. We might end up getting sun in the face here in a bit, I think. Maybe not. Alright, once the apsis reaches about 85 or 90, you want to stop. The problem last time was we went way the hell too fast. Alright, we got our mainsail going. It's a lot of lift to have to put on it, but should be able to handle it up here in space. Alright, 85 we'll call it, since that's between 80 and 90. And we got the, yeah, we're definitely going to get sun in the face here in a bit. Alright, so we're going to wait till we get to close to apoapsis, the apoapsis point, and then we're going to burn straight on the horizon. Usually I like to start about a minute to apoapsis. Maybe about 45 seconds. Alright, so turn on RCS so we can thrust ourselves around here. Alrighty then. Actually, we're probably using some of the fuel here. It's passing through, I would think. Or we'll start to. Maybe not. Maybe the decoupler doesn't allow fuel to pass through. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, we can though if we needed to. We could allow it to cross-feed. For now, we don't need it. We got plenty of fuel for this stage. Oops, bring that back up. No, stay up. Still not quite in a circular orbit yet. Let's push down a little bit more. Are we actually past apoapsis? We are. So we're actually burning down. Rather, I should be burning a little bit higher. We want to try and force the apoapsis up past where we're at. So maybe right about there. Actually, we're going to push the periapsis up here pretty quick. PDQ here. Let's go back to the horizon point. We certainly are using a lot of fuel, a lot more than I thought we would. Just to get into orbit. Okay. We'll have to do a pass-through on that. Should be fine. Okay, let's go ahead and figure out where we're going to intercept the moon at. There we are. We got ourselves on a pretty typical trajectory there. Alright, so what we're going to do is real quick, we're going to turn on the cross-feeding on this stage. Well, should have started cross-feeding. Maybe it doesn't then. Or perhaps it's the wrong direction. You see these arrows? I wonder if it's the wrong direction. In other words, it's cross-feeding these into that instead of this into that. Oh, we'll see what happens. We definitely don't have enough. Actually, we don't need to see what happens because we definitely don't have enough fuel to get to the moon at this point. Let's just go ahead and revert the flight to the assembly. I want to pull off that last bottom section from the below that decoupler. And I just want to, actually we can just leave it there and rotate it. And then move it down. And reattach. And that's going to really screw things up, so we'll need to rotate that. No clue why that's attached there. We're probably going to need to just redo all the fuel lines and okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. So I clicked on I didn't click on the whole thing, I clicked on this frickin' thing. Alright, there we go. Actually, I'm just gonna trash these and we'll just re-pull them out. Where's the fuel line at? Oh, there it is. No, that's a strut again. There it is. Fuel ducts. So these top ones look like they're still okay. So everything else that kind of looks like it's... Okay, those are still good. We're missing them on the cross sections. That's fine. Really quick here, let me see. I just want to look and see if maybe we need to do something different, though. Maybe we need to have a fuel line going down or something. KSP, decouplers, not fuel. Interesting. Looks like it might only work when we are using jet engines. So they don't allow cross-feed between rocket stages. Okay, so what we'll have to do then is we'll have to use a fuel line then, I suppose. Not a big deal. There should be more than enough fuel in all those tanks to get us where we need to go without using it all. Oh, we'll see what happens. So, where are we? There we are. So we'll just go to the. So these two should be fine. This I don't know about. We might have to go over this first of all. Well, that's not going to help. Maybe it would help if this was a little bit scaled up. tiny amount. Okay, that's too much. So that kind of hangs over, and what we do is stick this on the edge here. There we go. Okay. Now I'm probably going to have to do the same thing with this one. And we still need to fix the strutting between all these, so let's do that. Alright, I'll go 2 hours. So 7:30 is will be the cutoff time. Alright, everything should still be staged correctly. So yeah, the first stage should be a 6-minute burn time. So we should have quite a bit of burn on that. And this doesn't consider the staging, this just considers the actual amount of fuel. That's another question though. We're going to be burning this fuel all the way through it though, aren't we? Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe we put some just maybe a radial things on here. Maybe that's what we just need to do. That aren't really connected. But then it has to be somehow connected. I think actually flow pass through, these structural bits allow fuel to pass through. Those are too small, I think. We need the bigger ones. And then what we could do is on that, attach, similar to what we do with the sky cranes, attach a fuel tank onto those. Not a jumbo, but we do need something that's got quite a bit of volume. That's probably too big. SMP overkill? Maybe. Those are fairly small and they have a lot of fuel in them. Aerodynamics. I think we just need to figure out what works and what we can get up to the moon with what configurations. And they're also going to do one on the bottom here to the bottom section, just again, extra stability. So when you're going, you know, you got all this thrust pushing you upward, stuff like this will just make your rocket snap in half. Or at least try to. Okay, let's see what happens with this. I am highly dubious, but maybe, just maybe, we can get to the moon with some, you know, decent amount of fuel, at least enough to be able to fuel the sky crane. We may have to make multiple runs with this thing, so hopefully it's not so hard to dock it, and then we can just do multiple runs with it. Alright, SAS, full speed, head. think we'll have to have the RCS going for this. Because it was starting to kind of gimbal around a bit. This is interesting. This one's running out of fuel slower than this other one. Oh, crap. We pulled the fuel line off of that one because that one was stuck up to the upper section for some reason. We need to go fix that. I was like, wait a second here, what's going on? Why is this draining so slowly? Forgot all about that one. So, actually, that's... No, yeah, that one's there. Oh, wait a second. Oh, yeah, that's it. This one's not attached to the other stage. Okay. Case of the unevenly unevenly eliminating fuel tanks solved. Okay, let's give this another go here. Let's see what we get. Definitely still enough thrust to get us off the pad, so that's good. We didn't add too much weight. It's a little bit slower, a little bit, but still enough to get us going. Turn on RCS before things get too insane. When you start getting long rockets like this, getting them up can be a nightmare. I could have gone around the other way, couldn't I? Oh well. Oh crap, I'm going the wrong direction. I need to go back over this way. Just a little bit of an altitude adjustment there. Shouldn't waste too much fuel. We weren't so far up yet. The boosters finally hit the ground. Something exploded. Yeah, it landed next to the... Well, it might have landed on the... Something down there on the... Yeah, I think it landed on the launch pad. Crap. Yeah, now we're getting a little bit wonky from this bit. It's because we're still in the atmosphere. Once we get out in space, it'll be better, I think. Actually, yeah, the mainsail's almost not enough to get us up. It's kind of fidgeting around now. Now we're going down. We did add a little bit too much weight, didn't we? Luckily, though, we got up into the atmosphere. So that'll start speeding us up again. We'll have to burn for quite a while, though. And that's kind of why things are wobbling, because there's not enough thrust to keep things in a straight line. There's two reasons why you wobble. Not enough thrust or way too much thrust. We definitely need to put more speed on because we're actually not pushing up fast enough. We're getting really close to the apoapsis. It's kind of crazy because I mean we're almost in space now. Technically, we are in space. I guess we're still not far enough out. Kerbin's gravity is still pulling down on us pretty good. Let's use the RCS thrusters to help a bit. It's going to kind of screw us up a little bit, but yeah, no, this one isn't good. It's too much weight. I think we need to go with Kerbal. I think we need more thrust. Let's go back to the assembly. So I think all the lower section after that decoupler we gotta take out. And redesign it for Kerbal. So we'll need the Kerbal adapter. Okay. We'll need the fuel tanks. So what, this has what, 64 in it? Yeah, and this has 72, so it is a bit more. And they're smaller, shorter. What the hell? That is just weird. Alright, this doesn't matter which direction this is going in. We need to readjust it because it's causing all kinds of hell. Oh, what the hell? I thought I got it. Did I turn it 270 instead of 180? Yeah, I think I did. There's a little bit of lag or something in that. 124. Alright, the arrows are pointing the right way, or at least the way they were before. Actually, we need to pull it back down a bit more. Now let's turn off angle snapping. Okay, there we go. Turn it back on. Okay. No, let's just, I think this is just totally fragged. Let's just get rid of that and we'll replace it. Yeah, that was part of the problem. Alright. So I want these stages to last quite a while. We're going to do a 4 engine setup like before. Where's the... Oh, there it is. Obviously, we want to do radials. Well, we'll have to readjust the tanks anyway, so it doesn't really matter how many we got. This is always the fun part. Actually, we just need to take one off the bottom and put it on top. Alright, then we're going to do just mammoths all the way down. Fuel engines. And these are going to be asparagus staged, obviously. That's kind of a weird angle to go, but if it allows me to do it, I'll do it. Alright, there we go. I'm not going to do it every single one of these because now we got a bunch of smaller tanks here. Oh, that would help if I turned back up to 4. Alright, should be good enough there. I wonder if I could get away with... I can't go down very far on this. Okay, never mind. I was hoping maybe I could do like a... go from there to this second section just to kind of keep it from wobbling so much, but... that ain't gonna happen. Okay, so, well, look at that. Our TRW is really crappy on the first stage here. Oh, wait. This is why. There we go. Staging. Always staging. Alright, so this one first. So... actually, it might be that one. Definitely not that one. Definitely not that one. So these two first, those two, then the mid-center one. Okay, so save that. Let's give this one a launch and see what happens. This will be the last test. If this doesn't work, then I'll probably do some jiggering with this thing off stream to see if I can get something that works. When you start getting these huge rockets, it's just a pain in the ass to get them in the orbit properly. And then once you get them up there, you find out you burn just as much fuel as you would have if you had a smaller rocket. So it's kind of like screwed either way. Okay, SAS on, full thrust, RCS on. Okay, yeah. That was good. So we got too much thrust. Let's see if we can stabilize this. Oh, we also don't have any aerodynamic, no wings on the engines either. That's probably more the reason why. Crap, let me do that real fast. There's always one little thing you forget that's like important enough to screw up everything. I'm also thinking about putting another friggin' reaction wheel underneath this adapter. Let me pull this off a second, let's do that. Just because I think we need one more for that bottom section. Scale it up. Alright, now, get her to look wings out here. So I'm going to put one of these on every section. No, one of these. I don't want to copy the whole thing. Just because I want to make sure that we have... I have enough ridiculous crap happening. Getting a tad bit laggy from all the parts. Just a tad. It might also help to put some of these up here, actually. Maybe not as many, but a few. And maybe some smaller ones on the on these. Just again to make sure everything kind of stays somewhat in a certain direction. What's really interesting is if you put those on at a staggered positioning, going radially, you'll actually make the thing spin. If you do it on like just a perfectly straight rocket. It's kind of interesting. If you don't turn on stability assist. I think that's what SAS stands for, Stability Assistance System. Alright, we'll do 3/4 throttle this time. Or not. Even with the fins, it's starting to wobble a bit. It's not going crazy like last time, though, so... At least not yet. I think the RCS is just making it worse. Probably not a smart thing to do, but we'll see what happens. Crap. I was worried about that. I was too busy watching the swinging and the churning and not enough paying attention to the fact that I had to turn it so we could do that. Okay, revert to launch. Give this another crack here. Last try, and then go and stop the stream. If we fail, or even if we get up there, we'll stop. I'm going to stop the stream. Hopefully we have success, though. It's always best. It's best to end the stream off with something successful. Though I think this rocket's just too big. Need to maybe take out a section in the middle or something. There are some KIS pieces we can use. So we take a Kerbal out there and do a EVA, and we can attach these tanks to the station or something with those pieces, fuel lines. Of course, the problem is, how do you do a proper EVA out in the middle of space going, actual speeds without the Kerbal just totally going? Well, I'll have to figure that out. There's got to be some way like to attach something so they can cross things, but that would be interesting, to say the least. Alright, so we'll go about 3, that's actually more 4/5 throttle, but that's about what we need to do. Trying to rate the ship because I tapped it a little bit when we took off, and it just kind of got a life of its own there. The other problem is just twisting and everything too. It's going to cause issues. Oh hell! I was looking at the wrong. Whoa! Holy crap! Well, it was a spectacular failure. I'll say that much. Wow! Now we got a billion parts falling out of the sky. A couple of friggin' Scud missiles going off into the space. Alright, we'll give it one last shot here. One last attempt. I don't know what I guess I was looking at the wrong ones or something. Hopefully is the staging still correct? It should be, but who knows. Guess I can check that when we load up here. Yeah, staging's still right. So it's these outer ones that will go first. Maybe I just need to just go straight up in the... We'll turn our CS off. I think it causes more problems than it solves down here. Still wobbling like a crazy person, but maybe I'll wait to drop the first set of tanks before I do any turning. That way we have a little bit more of a stable drop on those. And even so, with all this friggin' movement, I don't see how it's not going to crash into something still when they take them off. Guess we can try to use RCS to slow it down a little bit. Brief bursts. It's just too wobbly. It's too much. Even with 3 reaction wheels. Maybe those don't actually use electricity, I don't know. Oh no, I did want to go this direction a little bit. I mean, I'm betting by the time we get up into orbit, we're gonna have like half our fuel used. That's usually what it takes to get up into orbit. If we can even get to orbit, we'll have to see what happens. You know, I just realized we're going into this section instead of into the fuel tank. That's why the fuel's not coming out of there into here. So we're still not using the fuel from the upper stages on these lower ones. So that's the discrepancy, I think, for that. I think something's going to snap in half here pretty soon. Just the rate this thing is continuing to go here. Alright, I'm just going to turn this off. We're going to turn RCS on, and we're just going to let RCS stop this crazy train from continuing any further. Because we got 75k on the apoapsis. I want to wait till we get up into the space. Technically we are, but it's at 68 when the music starts. Which is technically when you're really in orbit. At least I think it's 68. Oh, actually I think it's over 69. There we go, yeah. So again, we're gonna go maybe at, so we got pretty good thrust on this with only three-quarter thrust, so we'll do that. Now I want to go up, not down. Moving this thing around is a real pain, though. Even just really low on the thrust, we still got a pretty good amount going. Not quite enough to keep us going forward fast enough, but if we can at least get ourselves to the horizon line here. We're not high enough to do that, or we're too low, I don't know. We need to go up a little bit on the off the horizon, a tiny bit, just so we're still pushing up. We don't want to go too far beyond apoapsis until we have periapsis low or high enough that's not going to just throw us back into the ocean or into the planet or something. So yeah, we're actually using quite a bit of fuel on this stage. We definitely don't have enough to get to the moon, I don't think. Well, I don't know, it's 10,000. We're burning 100 friggin' fuel a second of oxidizer, though. If we could have gotten this thing up into orbit with all the tanks still intact, I think we probably would have been okay. I think we need to take a tank out of here. Is what we need to do. Maybe even 2. And maybe add another additional... Okay, so now we get the apoapsis out. Let's just see what it would take to get to the moon from here. So there's the moon. Probably intercepted around in here somewhere. I would have to do a radial burn or something to bring it down, or normal burn to bring it down. There we go. Yeah, we don't even, yeah, no, we don't even have enough fuel for most of the burn. Damn. Yeah, okay. So, that's going to be it for tonight. I'll do some more jiggering around with this and probably try and actually get the rovers to the moon off stream. Or at least get something to the station to fuel it off stream. And next time I do some streaming, we'll be at wherever I'm at. So, thanks for watching the stream live if you did on YouTube or Twitch. If you are watching afterwards on YouTube, comments or questions, leave them below. And I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. And I will see you next time.